Hello, this is Dr. Rick Hoefer, and I am your instructor for 5312. This video is going to talk about kind of the transition between Module 2, which we've completed, and Module 3, which is what we're beginning. And so let's take a look at what we have to do here. So last week, I had you recall what macro social work is. And so the reason I had to do that, I felt, was because I don't know what you know about macro practice, or community and administrative practice, which is the name we kind of give that at UTA. Certainly macro practice is community practice, it's administration, but it's also policy practice. And although you can take classes in all of those things, we generally leave the policy practice name out of things. We call it advocacy practice. But the reason this is important is because in this course, you are going to design an intervention. Now, oftentimes we talk about interventions and programs as if they're the same thing, but they're really not. So that's why sometimes I'll try to really remember to use the word intervention rather than program. So the intervention can be a community intervention, or it can be like an administrative intervention, like a program, like we generally think about it, or it could be a new policy. Let's pass a law that will change things. So I want you to think about, as you design your intervention, which one of these three approaches is really the best way to go for the situation, the need you're trying to fix. So as you may know, our CAP program is pretty heavy on administration, although administration is needed in all different kinds of interventions, so that's okay. But in this class, you get to choose which style of intervention that you're going to do: community, programmatic, or policy. Now the upcoming week is theory, perspectives, and values. And you may say, well, why do I need that? Well, there's a lot of good reasons for that. The primary one for this class is that as you choose your intervention, you need to know why you're choosing that. Why are you community? Why are you administration? Why do you want to do policy change? So you have, and each one of us has, our own biases about the best way to go. And if you don't challenge your own biases, if you don't gather more information about other approaches, then you're kind of stuck with just one tool in your toolkit, and that is too few. So that's why you need to be exposed to these other approaches as well. And then instead of just having a Phillips head screwdriver, you could have all sorts of different kinds of screwdrivers, depending on what kind of situation that you're facing. When you read through Kettner, you'll realize that he has a very rational approach. And that's good. That's the way most programs operate, is through a rational approach. And that's the way most social workers are taught, right? And that's good. You need to know that. Lewis and collaborators there has a broader array of approaches. So they have not only a very rational approach, but they also have human relations model, they have other kinds of management theories that are important for you to understand. So what I want you to do for this upcoming week is think about which of these approaches kind of resonates with you, and think also about what are some ideas that you haven't really pondered, the ones that don't resonate so well with you. How could you change your mind and maybe use them, one of them, instead? We're still at a pretty broad stage here, so you don't have to pick one, but it's good to begin to kind of hone in on what you think. Now, it's good that you talk about these things in your discussion post, because other people are going to be reading your post. Everyone wants to find partners for the group project. And so if you can identify people who are kind of like you in terms of approach, you're going to find that this is very helpful as you move along into the actual developing of your intervention and the writing of your papers. You should remember that some of the options that you have for weekly discussion posts are kind of group responses, because your group, you can use these responses to help build your final paper, and certainly to help think about the issues that you're going to find when you do your final paper. So that's another reason to think widely and to read other people's posts. So if you were thinking about not posting for this week, my advice would be go ahead and post for this week. Think about what you want, and this will make it easier for you for the rest of the semester. So, to sum up, we looked at what CAP was last week. Now we're looking at the kind of broader range of theories and approaches of CAP for this week. And we're looking forward to the final paper already. So it's all coming together, even if it doesn't quite seem like it yet. If you have questions, or I should say, put your questions in the Q&A, and we will take care of them. I'll be talking to you later.